Hi, welcome. I'm glad you can join me for practice today. And I would suggest you have a bolster or something that would approximate that kind of cushion and density. It's not absolutely necessary, but it might be fun to have it at the end of class. Maybe 2 blocks if your hamstrings are tight, and or if you can't sit in Vajrasana, which is how we're going to start class today. So if you have difficulty, if you have any compression in your knees, you can sit on a stack of blocks underneath your sacrum. And it can be as high as you need. You just absolutely do not want any compression whatsoever in your knees. That will keep your knees happy. And for class today, we're going to use a strap. So please, everybody can probably approximate a strap easily in your household. So grab whatever you need to, a scarf or something that you can use in place of a strap, a belt, or any type of stretch bands that you might have for your other exercise or mobility classes. Okay, so we're going to start in Vajrasana. Going to set up on our shins. The spine is very nicely supported in this posture. So we're going to start here. And we're just going to tap in to our breaths. We're going to hook in to each consecutive breath and create a beautiful, smooth stream that's unbroken, an unbroken stream of awareness. This is going to help to kind of settle the body and calm the mind. So let's start with an exhale together. Just draw out, empty out. Feel your tailbone get a little longer. Feel the press against your heels with your sit bones or into your blocks. And then we'll begin. Breathing in. Just really appreciate what that inhale does to your spine, lifting and expanding. Look right into your exhale. Follow it out, smooth it out, lengthen it out. Pull in. Inhale. Looking right into it. Follow through right into the exhale. Nothing is distracting you away from your breath. Final breath like this. Just hook right into the start of that next inhale. Get longer, get taller. Pause and then hook right down into that exhale. Go deep, go long, go down. Let's take a few breaths here. Coming back, just your natural rhythm. I'm going to talk a little bit about the contraction of the rectus abdominis. So that's what we call like the superficial sheath of the core muscles. So it's what we refer to as the six-pack muscle, if you're so inclined. So to feel that and to bring our attention squarely into this area, we're going to use our hands as kind of measuring devices. So thumbs will touch the two bottom points of your ribs, and the middle finger is going to stretch down. They should be touching just the tops of your two hip bones, the two frontal hip bones. And then I want you just to take a normal breath. You'll feel that area expand, widen, lengthen away. The hips lengthen away from the ribs lengthen away from the hips. And then as we exhale, we're going to create this kind of contraction. It's called actually a concentric contraction. So it's kind of just use the word concentrate. There's a concentration of energy. So those two upper points pull towards the two bottom points, and you'll feel your pelvis actually tilt backwards. So you'll feel your middle fingers, they'll go in and back, right? Your tailbone goes long. So what's happening is really this posterior tilt, right? The low back gets long and lengthened, the tailbone goes down, and the two hip points go up towards the ribs, and the ribs flush in. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on that and work with that a little bit today. So we use the exhale, and the exhale just increases and magnifies that contraction. So we use the exhale together, and you bring in your ujjayi breath. Inhale, expand and lengthen. Exhale, find that concentric contraction. So the muscle shortens on the concentric contraction, as opposed to the eccentric contraction, which a muscle lengthens while it's activated, while it's working. And of course, isometric contraction is that the muscle remains stationary. It doesn't lengthen and it doesn't shorten. Okay, so let's follow through with standing on the knees and reach the arms up. We'll also do this in standing. So fingerprints tap together above you, and then exhale, draw down. Okay, without feeling those points coming together. Now we're just feeling it more without the use of the hands, and to find those landmarks. Let's do it again. Inhale. And exhale. So there's a hollowing out, tailbone lengthens. So let's open. We'll use cactus arms to just shift into this beautiful stretch, stretching out and lengthening. And then exhale, draw the palms back together, sit the hips back down, clasp the hands, and we'll just draw the head down towards the floor. You can shift into rabbit pose if you like, just lifting the hips up. Maybe just rolling around a little bit on the top of your head. And then release that. Just take a moment just to shift back to your breath. Just one inhale, one exhale. And then find a neutral spine, a neutral pelvis. Okay, and then let's start writing. So we'll come onto hands and knees. We'll just widen the knees for a moment. And we'll just bring a little bit of mobility into the lower body before we begin practice and moving a little bit more into our hips. So we'll circle around, we'll do 3. You can make these as big as feels good for you this morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where your body is. If it's sleepy and you're just waking up, you just want to go a little lighter, a little more gentle maybe. Don't forget to go in the other direction. Good, and then just press back, bring the big toes to touch. And just use the strength of the arms here. Good, really push into the hands, really widen the fingertips apart. Press into the tops of the feet. Press evenly down into the toes, so the toes are tucked here, opening up into the fascia of the feet. Good, and then come forward. Bring the knees so that they're a little bit centered more underneath the hips. Good, neutral spine. Good, lengthen back. And then lengthen the right leg back. Good, just glide forward and back a moment. And then we're gonna seal down the right foot, especially the right outer foot. You wanna get a really firm press there. The whole leg's really super active. Left knee is under the hip, or it could be a little bit more forward. Left toes are tucked, reach the arm up, inhale again. Exhale, and reach the arm forward. Start to create more and more of a really exaggerated opening in the right side of your spine. right side waist. And just kind of drip the upper body out of the lower body. Good, and then reach back. Stabilize, and then reach all the way, circle the arms around. And then as the arm comes forward and down underneath you, you're going to step the right foot forward. Climb up to a low lunge. Breathe in. Back it off a little bit and exhale, sink and melt the hips. Melt the shoulders, but use the arms. You don't always have to overdo the shoulders. And keep the shoulders placed firmly into the back so you provide that support for opening up the chest. Inhale, back it off, and exhale, sink and melt. One more like that. Use the foundation of your legs. Very important in lunges and opening the front body. Good. We're going to bring the right hand to the waist. You can also use a block for support, and we'll go into a side bend towards the right. And stay here for another breath in and out. Sink a little lower. Good, and then come forward. You can still use your blocks, and we're just going to hinge the hips back. And just slide your blocks back, but you want to remain really nice and long through the spine. As jackknife pose, opening up the back of your right thigh, working down into the Achilles, so don't forget to really flex those toes. Lengthen forward, so angling the spine forward. Using a lift in the belly, swallow your front ribs in. Exhale, you can go a little deeper. Good. And then step the foot down, your blocks back, and step the knees back, and just go back to child's pose. Wiggle and move a little bit in your hips, and then come forward. Left knee goes back, just glide forward and back a little bit, just setting up. Seal down the left outer foot, press into your right palm, and we'll come up. Inhale, exhale, go long. Find that kind of half moon shape on your whole left side from your outer left ankle, dripping down to your left fingertips. Let your head drip down. And then just breathe some wideness. Flush out the intercostals. Push out between the ribs. Good. Mobilize with your breath. Mobilize with the act of breathing. Good. And then reach the arm all the way back. Create this nice big circle. It's going to help mobilize the shoulder a little bit. And then follow through as you step the left foot forward, following the reach of the left arm and hand, and then match it with your right arm, finding the lunge, back it up, get tall, exhale, sink and melt. We'll do a couple more like this. Inhale and exhale. Remember to soften the shoulders down. Inhale and exhale. Find your side bend. Your fingers can come to the floor. Maybe not. Maybe you have to find that block or just have your hand at your waist or your hip. Go into your side bend as you melt the hips. And then come forward, reach forward. Maybe you want your two blocks for this hinge back. Good. It doesn't always have to straighten completely, right? You just go towards straightening the left leg. Maybe there's a little bit of a bend in that knee. Just angle your spine, keep it nice and long as you go forward. Stay broad through the chest and the collarbones. One more breath, and maybe you go deeper. Good. Step the foot down. And we're going to press back into child's pose. And we're going to scrape, get low, get slithery, shimmy forward into a low cobra here. Breathe in. Peel up your chest. Lift from the back of the heart. Open those collarbones nice and wide. And soften your gaze. Really use the legs here. Use the low belly. And then lower down, press back. We're going to sit right back into that Vera pose. Or not Vera, it's Vajrasana, it's Thunderbolt. Virasana is hero pose. We actually sit like this in Virasana. That's even more challenging for people's knees, and also for a lot of people, it's the ankles. We're going to keep it straight into our really nicely supported Vajrasana. And then we're just going to go back that little bit of an exhale breath, that concentric contraction again, to kind of really seal it in our brain somatically. And remember, as you create that contraction, so you might really be working hard at the contraction, right? 100%, you're giving it your all, powering into it. But then you might see that you're shrinking and you're rounding your upper back and your shoulders are coming forward and you're swallowing in your chest. Let's try to kind of reverse out of that. So even as we keep this really, really deep contraction, where the ribs come in and the top hip points go up, so we're shortening that muscle, right? We're getting a lot of support here as we do so. But we keep nice and broad in the collarbones, in the shoulders as well, okay? And we're gonna apply that into our cobra. So let's go back down, slide into it. You wanna scrape your chest forward and scrape your toenails back. Okay, so we'll go into the cobra on the inhale. Now, stay in your cobra on your exhale. You want to feel that core, that contraction. Good. So hip points, your pelvis slightly tips back, your ribs come in. So you don't feel like you really can peel a whole lot off the floor, right? So then we're just going to lessen that contraction enough that we still have the support, but it's not going to hold us back from creating more of an expansive back bend. Okay, so engage the tops of your toes, lengthen out, drag your heart forward. Exhale, find that contraction. And then maybe just keep about 40% of it and start to come up in your cobra pose. Good, so you want to feel your low back spine being nicely supported by that contraction, or at least a percentage of that contraction. Good, shoulders away from the ears. Good, lift from behind your heart, forward and pick it up. Swallow in the navel. Good. And just flush those front ribs in a little bit more. Grow taller through the crown of your head. And then exhale, go long as you come down. Nice work, everybody. Let's go back. I know that's a lot to think about, but it'll get more easier and more natural to you when you find that support for your low back. There's when to lift and extend out of the low back instead of creating these back bends that just kind of sit or kind of park in our low back. We want to really create a little bit more or a lot more extension through the spine. Okay, so we'll go back here and just walk your hands back. Big toes together. Flash open your knees and just drop your head. Kind of walk your side waist forward to open your knees wide and start to bring your weight back and forth. Tipping forward toward your fingerprints and maybe sliding back into your heels, going into this Malasana variation. It's okay if your heels aren't down. Just work back and forth. You're not going to fall, your hands are forward. But you can use the push of your hands to start to work the heels towards the floor. Opening up in the back of the ankles. And take your time. And a nice rounded position in the spine now. And then walk the hands all the way back. We'll start to come into a standing forward fold. And tip your weight forward and back and side to side. And then circle around your feet with your body weight. Trying to hit all 4 points of your feet, of your 2 feet. And then go in the other direction. Like that. Stable base. Good. And just hang here. Let your head go. Knees can bend as much as you need. Let's bring the hands around, interlace so that the right hand comes on top. And drop the head down. Release. Lift up halfway. Go long. Remember, firm those front ribs in, drink them in, and exhale. Go long over your legs. Keep these bend as much as you need to. Reach around to the left. Reach up and hang. If you can bring your weight forward a little bit more into your toes. And lift up, halfway lift. And exhale this time. Really bend the knees, and we're just going to roll up. Tuck the tailbone slightly underneath you. And come standing in our Tadasana pose. And just coming back, feeling the composure of this pose of Tadasana. Feeling the feet grounded into the earth. Feeling held and supported. But feeling that there's a capability, there's potential to express, to expand, to energize from here. Let's do that concentric contraction with the arms now. Reach up, fingerprints come together above you. You can engage your quads a little bit here in standing. And then follow through the exhale. Want to feel that exhale at the back of the throat, ujjayi sound. Keep the collarbones broad. Tailbone descends. Good, and then open up. Good, flood the chest, flood the belly, and then bring the right thumb around. Roll the chest towards the thighs as you bend the knees, and drop the head towards the floor. Good, and then just keep the right leg straight. Bend deeply into the left knee and take a little stretch here, little twist towards the right, towards the straight leg. Fist to the left, chest to the right, turn, and then slowly release. And the tailbone, let's roll all the way up. And stand in your 2 feet, find that composure again of Tadasana, mountain pose. Feeling that serenity of a mountain. It always is the same. It's essential. Self, present, always. Underneath all the change, all the variation of weather, the storms, the sunny days, all the seasons. Okay, let's go. Again, reach up, fingerprints together above you. Breathe in, get long. Push with your feet, engage your quads. Find that exhale breath, that exhale in the back of your throat. Ujjayi sound, sound of the ocean. Bring it in. As much as you're working this and shortening here, you're keeping this area really nice and wide. Open up. Wide even more in this back bend. Lift up, kick from behind your heart. Crack it open. And then exhale, Just pull behind you, left thumb on top, roll the chest towards the thighs, and then go deep into your forward fold, folding out your breath. Let go, walk the hands forward. We'll find plank pose here. Even it out, smooth it out. Use your legs a little more vigorously. Lighten up in the face, the jaw, and the throat. The eyes especially. Push the floor away from the shoulders. You want to slightly dome up in your upper back. Try to find the softness here. How do you work into the struggle? How do you face up against this much work, this much stimulation? And breathe right into it. Eventually, you create a conscious shift. You come out on the other side. And find the lightness there. And then go forward, get long, stay really broad in your collarbones. And we're going to bend the elbows, come halfway down, push up from that concentric contraction, and then lift the hips and hinge back to down dog. Good. Just kind of shake it out a little bit, move around, wiggle, whatever wants to move, go ahead and move. Breathe in through the nose, out the mouth, sound it out, just let out some deeper tension or release. Breathe in, breathe out. See if you can go right into that next inhale breath. And even out your body's weight between your hands and your 2 feet. Bring your weight back. Wrap your triceps. Press into your elbows. Let go of your neck. Good, flip forward. Take it in, stay long here. Exhale. And just find that stability. Inhale. And then exhale. We're going to step the left knee down underneath the left hip. Seal the right outer foot. And we'll come back to that side plank variation. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift up, lift the back leg up. You tap. Exhale, and pick up the left leg. Maybe just the knee comes up. Work the left shoulder blade. Inhale, tap it down. Reach the right leg up. Step back foot down, seal the outer back foot. And bring the left leg up again. You can bring it out to the side a little bit, tap it. Inhale down, and right leg lifts. Extends. Down. Maybe go for a full on, lifting that left leg and kicking it out to the side, tapping it. And down. And let's come forward. Right side lunge. Inhale. And exhale. Stay your side bend. Breathe in. Exhale, melt. Inhale. Transitioning to that jackknife pose. Step the hips back, reach forward, and broaden through the heart, the chest. One more time, step down. Exhale, maybe no arms. Press into the palms. Plank pose. Come forward, shift forward, go long, Get those toes to work a little more and bend the elbows. Go long. Do the work of keeping the belly active and the legs active, with the collarbones broad. Push back from the belly and lengthen back into your down dog. In and out. And come forward. Right knee comes down. Left leg back. Open out to your side plank. Inhale here. And exhale. Seal that back foot as the left arm comes forward, working strongly into the back foot. Inhale. Pick it up. Tap maybe. Exhale. Press. Use that right shoulder. Maybe pick up the right leg. Maybe the foot has to stay down for a little more support. Inhale, back. Exhale, front leg. Maybe tap it. Inhale. Exhale, maybe a full extension. Tap it. Good. Come down. Nice work. Leg pose. Oh, no. Low lunge. Almost forgot that part, but I didn't. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, find your side bend to the left. Exhale, and we'll hinge back. One more time, tap it down. We'll hinge back, maybe no arms this time. A little more core support. Go long, stay broad in your shoulders and your chest. And then reach. Go back to down dog for a moment, just flush it out. Go through a little vinyasa, inhale to plank, exhale, and stay. Smooth it out, even it out. Go long and lower. Maybe the knees come down, point the toes, shift into your cobra or your upward facing dog. Push the floor with your two hands to lift the frontal spine up. Exhale, downward dog. In and out with your breath. Right leg lifts. Down dog split. Really get the leg up there. Good. Open the hip, bend the knee. As you do that, it's typical to more land in your left hand and open out the chest as well. Try to keep the chest centered as the hip is the bottom of the body, the lower body goes into that twist. So you're twisting towards the left with the upper body, opening up towards the right with the lower. You're going to reach up, square everything off, and step the foot forward. High lunge here. Back knee to bend. Use the arms without overdoing the shoulders. Go soften there. See how the more you soften with the shoulders, bring the shoulders and fix them into the back, that opens and lifts the chest. Provides that support for the heart, almost like a shelf for the heart to sit on. Squeeze back to the heel or keep the knee bent depending on how much compression and congestion there is in your low back. Good. Inhale here. Good. And exhale. Tap the knee down, reach for your strap. Going to use the strap to open up the chest a little more and engage the shoulder blades. So get your strap and you'll get it really nice and wide. Just to begin, you can tuck the back toes or straighten them. Get the foundation in play of the lower body. And then inhale, reach forward. Take the strap up and then back behind you. So locate your two shoulder blades. Bring them squarely in against your back. Good, against your back ribs, against the back of your heart, and start to send the front of your chest forward and up. Good. Pressing the strap back. So you'll start to gauge how tight or how open your shoulders are, where the flexibility is or isn't. Okay. See if you can kind of feel a snag, like there's a, I feel stuck. See if you can lengthen out of that. Fix the shoulder blades into the back. Lift the heart. Use your exhale and see if you can smooth right through that snag. So there's no snag anymore. You just got rid of it. Take a moment. We're going to work in reverse. Good. Pull the strap apart evenly. Shoulder blades against the back in the down position. And then start to gently go in reverse. Again, if there's any stuck position, move around a little bit. Lift up. Lengthen out with the arms. Lift the center eye of your heart. And breathe through it. Yes. Beautiful. You can do that as many times as you want. I'm just going to do it one time for this class, but you can always put it on pause and do a couple more, especially if you feel a little tight. That was really easy for you. You can do a really tightened up version of this by bringing your strap in a really short position. Okay, so then you'll just kind of test yourself that way. All right, we're going to go back up to a high lunge now. Inhale. Exhale, settle. Open up. Flatten that back foot. Straighten the front leg for a moment, just to see if you need to readjust your legs. Also, it's a nice way to just kind of flush out all of the tension and the congestion, the fluids kind of run free in the body, in the joints. Inhale for space. Good. Really squeeze the quads a little bit, and then exhale, bend the right. Sit down. See how low you can sit and settle in this pose. See how soft you can get your shoulder blades, how open the chest can be. If you tend to lean forward, always pull through the back arm a little bit more vigorously, and that's going to set the top of the head directly over the tailbone. And you reverse out of that. Good. Inhale. And exhale, we're going to extended side. Good. You can bring your hand on the floor or to a block. Good. Power through the legs to come up, especially the back leg pulls you right into warrior two. Exhale. Extended side. Work the buttocks underneath. Good. Inhale, pull through. Use the left arm, use the left leg to come up. And exhale, last time here. Good. Really work the back leg. Really press. Seal into the back foot. Maybe bring more of your weight to the back of this pose. You can line up in the front. And just brace your spine using that contraction. Lift up. Woo. And then go back into a twist. Oh, this feels good. Just doing a simple lunge twist here. We're going to, again, as we're twisting towards the right, see if you can twist towards the left with the lower body. That's going to pick up your left hip a little bit. Good. Breathe in. It's going to keep the sacrum a little bit more stable. And exhale. Release. You can follow through any vinyasa. I'm just going to come down, tap the knees down. Inhale, cow. And exhale. Lift the hips up and back and take your downward. Adho Mukha Svanasana. See if your front ribs like to hang out in down dog. Mine do. So I'm just gonna have them knit up a little bit. You don't want too much of a contraction here, but you don't want to just kind of hang from your joints. That's going to create a little too much strain in the low back. So we just keep it a little more neutral. Also, it's everybody does it a little bit differently. So if you get to know your tendencies, you can work against those tendencies. Get to know your body. Left leg lifts up and back. Downward dog. Split. Really find some length. Lifting up, up, up from the back inseam of the leg. Like strongly through the toes, and then open up, bend the knee. Flush out the hip, opening the hip to the left, and turn from the waist up to the right to kind of even out that twist. And step the foot forward. Use the toes. Inhale, come up into your high lunge. I don't have my tie today. Yikes. And exhale. And sink back, knee to bend a little bit. Soften the shoulders. Lift up through the chest. Kick out. Good, and lower down, nice and slow. Reach for your strap. And we're going to work into that shoulder opening. So again, if that was too easy for you on the first side, you're going to shorten your strap. Again, you can pause this and do this as many times as you like. Reach up, go long, reach up through the arms. Pick up your spine, let go of the hips, melt. Go back and forth like that. Locate your two shoulder blades. Squeeze them against your back. Fix them there. Create that shelf for your heart to sit on. Test yourself. Test the flexibility or the non-flexibility, if that might be the case. We're working into that, whatever it is. Good, and then when you hit your snag, like I just did, you're gonna breathe into it. Extend back through the arms, lift up, send your heart up, and then follow through with that exhale. See the exhale can just kind of slip over that knot of tension for you and bring your arms back to the floor. And just stay here for breath in. It feels so good to open the shoulders for most of us. And also this kind of is a counter activity to all of this that we do all day long with the phones and the computers and our laptops and everything else that we do bent over and hunched over. So this is really working all against that. And it's really about longevity for the spine. It's just about balance. So from the down position, we're going to reverse out. Take your time, just really make this feel good. Come out on the other side of this. Good, keep breathing, keep using your breath. It's amazing what the breath can do. And then come down. And take a moment. And then find those sturdy legs for high lunge. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, kick out. And open out. Nice and slow. Straighten the front leg. Reposition on like a nice, really generous distance between the front and the back foot. Pull a little bit more into the back end of this pose as you bend down into the left knee. You stay straight and you don't lean forward. Breathe in and breathe out. How low can you go? And soften your shoulders. Sometimes it's nice to just turn the palms to face up. It kind of creates this feeling of feather lightness. And then release the palms towards the floor, the gaze, and turn. Good. And then we're going to do the extended side angle. You can use a block if you'd like, or the arm can always come to the thigh. Bring that left glute underneath towards the right. Open up that right hip. Come up, pull up, use the back end, right leg and right arm, and then down again. Breathe, feel that beautiful diagonal line of energy up. Ooh, I'm getting tired. And then forward leg, sit down and go. One last time, this one's gonna be hard. Get ready, really establish the back foot. And reach, try to widen out. Brace your whole front spine and back spine. And then lift up. Straighten your front leg, just let everything flush out. Oh my gosh, I really need that now. I need to untangle my earpiece as well. Put that guy back in. And then we're going to go into our twist. Right palm down, right heel goes up. Twist to the left. And then notice, so right away my left hip goes down and kind of turns into that twist. See if you can develop this kind of perception of twisting away with the lower body so that hip lifts up then, stabilizing the sacrum. Because a lot of us have problems with sacrum. A lot of us do. Good, push down, use that right palm. Open up with the chest to the left, even as you keep lifting the right hip up. Whew. And then lower the hands down. Nice work. We're going to step to the front of the mat now. Feet a little bit just under hip width. Kind of slide your 2 feet apart, like you're kind of pulling them apart, but they're not going to go anywhere. So it's kind of an isometric hold here, an isometric contraction. You're going to feel it in your outer hips, right here, TFL. Abductor muscle is going to be firing a lot. I want you to feel that. I want you to sit back down into the heels. Drop the hips. And lift the heart. Lift the arms. Let the arms be an extension of the energy of your heart. Offering it up and out to the world, whatever it is, whatever gift you want to get. And then draw down a little bit more. Soften the upper body even as you really work on strengthening the lower body. You are building bone mass. Inhale and exhale. And stand up. Good. Soften your joints a little bit. Just take a moment. Deep breath in and out. Good. And we're just going to work a little bit more of that core contraction before we come down. So we're going to step our left foot back. Find that high lunge. Inhale and exhale, sink down. And then we'll reach long, we'll go into warrior 3. Just the arms back on an inhale, but stay low in that right knee. That's really kind of a compacted warrior 3. Exhale and reach the arms forward. Inhale back. Exhale, you can push and straighten the front knee. And then lower down as you inhale. Arms come back. This time, exhale. We're going to lift up. Bring the left knee up with you. Inhale here. And then exhale for that core contraction. Really pull in, shortening that sheet, right? And then inhale, sit down. Oh, I gotta turn this timer off. And exhale, and up. Sit down, exhale. Good. Shake it out a little bit, and we'll go to the other side. Whew. Okay. We're gonna come down soon. Not to worry. Left foot stays forward, right foot back, set up for your high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, sink down. Inhale here. And reach, go long. Exhale. Shorten the standing leg. It's the left leg. Reach back, float your arms. Exhale, float the arms forward. Start straightening the front knee as you exhale. Inhale, lower again. Exhale, straighten. Are your front ribs kind of hanging? Hug them in, don't forget. One more like that. Inhale. Good, this time exhale. Flood your back body with your breath. Lift up that right knee. Inhale. Exhale. Hug it. Inhale. Exhale, hug it. Find that core contraction. And then turn on the other side, but this side we can. This exhale, find the core contraction as you kick the leg out. Ooh, 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 ooh. Inhale, sit down. Exhale. Hollow. Inhale, sit down. Exhale. Inhale, sit down, 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 down. Good. Bring the palms down. You can walk your hands back a little bit. Flash your knees open, wide. Setting up for your crow pose. So crow is just a great pose to just work with kind of regularly because it's a template for so many other arm balances. Once you feel really comfortable in this one, you'll get so many others. Okay, and if you don't really get up, you're still building strength. It's all good. All right, so we're gonna really widen the fingers apart. We're just gonna tip forward. Bend the elbows to catch your knees on your upper arms and tip forward. Lift your tailbone and go back. Go back and forth like that. Just starting to exchange your body weight from one place of support, or two in the case of your two legs and feet, to your arms and your hands. You just want to slowly start to sensitize yourself for what happens in that exchange, what starts to develop. As you come forward, lift your hips, work your toes, so get your toes to get stronger, push them into the floor like you're a ballerina and you're on point. Good, you're gonna press down. The knees are gonna be sending a lot of weight down onto your arms, so you have to press your arms back into your knees. Let your chest widen and your collarbones widen, so you want softness there. And maybe you push up all the way. One more breath. Even if you're just trying, you're developing your strength. It's all good. And then we're just gonna sit down. Okay, so you're gonna grab your strap. We're gonna work on a little bit more core. These are one of my favorite ways to start and often end a class. So use a strap for this. Right leg's gonna extend. We'll wrap the strap around the ball of your left foot and kick out, kick forward. So you want your upper body to be like boat pose, Navasana. So there's a nice wideness here. I know I've been saying it all through class today. I'm going to keep saying it and kick into the strap. Press your right leg down and forward, kick it forward, especially as you start to come down. So we're going to, again, hook into that concentric contraction. Swallow the ribs in, lift slightly into your frontal pelvis. So you develop that really deep scoop and start to come down. Keep kicking into the strap the whole way. This is going to help you let down really slowly so you go down against gravity. The leg up, Take a moment just to release, breathe in and out. Come back to that sense of composure. Good. And then we're going to work reversing out of gravity. So again, put the ribs towards the hips, hips towards the ribs, navel back, press out into the strap with your left foot. Push out with your right leg as well as down to come up. Nice and slow, soften the shoulders, to lift the chest. It doesn't happen in reverse, and we'll go down again. Keep kicking out. Slow it down. I kind of went down a little too fast on that one, so I'll pay for it with this one. So kick out. Squeeze into the strap. Really work into the belly, into the core of your belly, to the pit of your belly, I should say. Lift up. And then really slow this down and see if you can start to maybe let go a little bit of the strap to bring a little bit more of the focus in your core and utilizing the core. And utilizing the strength of your legs, the support of your legs. And then we're going to stay here. We're going to just use the strap to open up and Supta Padangusthasana. Right arm goes to the side. You're going to lift the left leg out to the left. Good. Keep the right hip down. You can bring your right palm, kind of square it in to the hip. Give it a little weight. The left leg goes out, kind of hangs out there. Breathe in. Work the legs apart. Good. Lift up. Use the support leg to help lift. Give you a little bit of a foundation for lifting. And then bend the right knee for a moment to take the left hip a little out to the side. Re-straighten your right leg and take the left leg over to the right side. Cross the body. Okay, put your hand on your sacrum. See how we can work. Again, even out the twist by rolling the right chest a little bit towards the left and away from your right leg. Good. Breathe right where your hand is pressing. Good. Let's lift up. And then open up the back of the leg. Use the strap. The leg closer in. Kind of like an upside down split. Really extend long through the legs, the toes. Move around a bit. And then last time to come up. Okay, maybe a softer hold. Yeah, really flat. Press like you're squeezing your low back spine into the floor. You're gonna crush and flatten a little marshmallow. Oop. And now it's sticky marshmallow. And follow through. Keep scooping up, keep scooping up, keep scooping up. Oh, and lift up. Shoulder blades against the back. Stay nice and open here. Good. Lower. Maybe the head comes towards the shin like a heron pose or a, yeah, heron. Good. And then lower down. Good. You might need to work your hands a little bit, especially if you're holding that strap a little tight. And we're going to work into the opposite side. So 3 times the charm. Kick out, scoop the belly. And soften the shoulders and start to come down. Lengthen up. Gather in, scoop out, and go backwards. Go on reverse. Get through both of your feet, not just the into the strap, but kick the bottom foot as well, the left foot, and kind of support leg. And open out. You want to feel like boat pose up here. Good. This just stabilizes everything, and then go back down. Scoop, 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 scoop. Feel that gooey marshmallow, hit it. Good, lift up. Exhale. You're carving out your belly. Oh. Breathe in. Use the exhale, use the exhale, use the exhale. Kick out, no, kick out. As you go down, so you're bringing balance as you let down. Good. And then this time we're going to open out back to that Hasta Padangusasana, holding the strap with just the right hand. Left hand can go on top of your left thigh. Give it a little weight. This feels good. And then lift up. Use your core to lift the weight of the leg off the floor. Then bend the left knee and then take the hips all the way over to the right. You straighten your left leg and take the right leg to the left. Good, turn your gaze to the right. Not if it doesn't feel good for your neck, though. If your neck feels a little cranked, and stare at the ceiling. Good, as the leg goes to the left, turn your chest, rotate your chest a little bit more. Bring your hands on the sacrum. Good, see how you can kind of even things out there. Turn away your upper body to the right. And release the right arm. Suppress with the left leg and your core strength to lift the right leg up. And then just close in and stretch. So you stretch out the back of the leg, and out. This is not my dominant split leg. So this is always a little bit harder for me to practice with a split. So if you have hit that leg like me, just, and again, use your breath. Lengthen, push into the strap. Your right foot, reach out, reach one with your left foot, toes. And bring it in. And one last time to come up now. Get ready. Maybe soften the hold. Test yourself. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Off of your marshmallow. Beautiful. All right, and I just want to show you a few kind of little tips and tricks to do a little bit more of the challenging poses that I like to use the strap for. So one is called chaturanga. You want to create a loop in your strap that will hug your bicep muscles right in the center of your biceps. Then you want to kind of bring your elbow tips in alongside of you. So I need to lengthen that out a bit. Yeah. So kind of create this sling. And just make sure the strap is like right in the center of your biceps. And you do a little robot arm test. Okay. Then we'll go into chaturanga here. This is a nice way to kind of play with chaturanga because it gives you a little bit more of time in the pose. It allows for a little more time because it acts like a sling. So you come forward with your chest, keep the broadness in your chest and your collarbones, and the straps really gonna hold and help you with your strength, especially if you tend to kind of lose it in your pectoralis a lot. So you just work on your pose from here. Lift your quads up, extend out evenly through your heels, and go long through your chest, longer through the crown of your head as the elbow tips pull back, and the sides of your upper arms pull in. Good. Kind of slide your hands apart, but they're not going to go anywhere. Just going to create that extra tension. Good. So that's a really fun way to practice chaturanga. And we're going to keep the strap at this location. And we'll do a little bit more of a challenging pose I like to do with this strap, but I can only do with the strap, by the way. I can't do without a strap. I just don't have either an accommodation of the strength in my upper body, although I think I'm pretty strong. But it might also be just the disparity between the ratios of, you know, where your body weight is, also the length of your torso versus the length of your legs and so forth. So there's, you know, there's a lot of diversity in that and a lot of play. So we'll get into a down dog. Strap is still around the mid bicep. If it moved, you might have to readjust it. Gonna lift the right leg up. Take a down dog split. Bend the knee, and come forward, keeping the collarbones nice and broad. Whoa. Well, I was supposed to go up, but I didn't. All right, we'll try it again on this side. Left leg lifts. Yeah, this might be a little wide, I'm thinking now. And you come forward. Good. Come back to chaturanga. This is just going to help even out the spine. Good. So you just kind of really stabilize the spine after that really deep back bend. So I did it on that one. I think I slipped a little with my strap. But anyway, so Kirandasana is the chin stand. So we kind of lengthen forward and go long. Strap's going to hold you. And start to lift out of your down dog split. Go long towards the chin, land the chin as both legs lift up. We'll do it to the other side. Left leg lifts. I can't talk in this pose, by the way. Let me just move my head around. As you notice, I can't talk in this pose. Come forward, come forward, come forward, bend. Back to your chaturanga. And all right. So that pose is much easier, although a lot of people seem to just go right up in it and have no problem, and they're not the strongest people in the world. So that's why I think a lot of times it's the proportion of your body. So anyway, we work with what we have, and we find ways to kind of get around issues like that. So you have to set up against the wall. Otherwise, you can just use a block for the Viparita Karani. So legs up. We did a lot of leg work today. But you can watch the setup that I do. Blanket, the bolster, or something that approximates the bolster. You can do several blankets. And a block is going to go on the flat side, wide against the wall. Because the block is where my sacrum is going to come down. So I'm going to roll in to Viparita Karani. like so. So the blanket will just support my head, but you don't really need a blanket. I'm just putting it in here because I don't really have, the mat doesn't go all the way here. So the head's gonna go here, then I'm gonna roll out, my shoulders are gonna come down, and this is gonna support my spine. And my legs are gonna come to the wall, and then I'm gonna just kind of shimmy my sacrum onto the block. As so you'll see, you'll watch. Arms forward. At the back of my head into the bolster, shoulders into the bolster. I lift my hips up, and then I use my hands to the wall to guide my hips down. And land right on that block. I don't know where my thing went to, but I guess I'll find it. I hope I'm not sitting on my head. So this is a great way to rest your thighs, your hamstrings, to rest the front of your hip flexors. I'm kind of out. I was really close to the wall, and I have to kind of shimmy back. But you could be a little bit away from the wall too. It depends on the flexibility of your hamstrings. And this is a nice kind of just relaxed variation of a back bend. I feel like it's a sort of fish pose. So depending on what you have, this bolster is kind of big, so I'm definitely having a back bend, but it does feel nourishing. It feels good for the back of my ribs, especially because my sacrum and my low back is pretty free. It's pretty stable. So the mobility is happening more into the thoracic spine, which is great. That's where we want to bring the mobility in. You can stay here, or you can open your legs nice and wide. You can bring your soles of the feet together and just work butterfly upside down. That feels great in my back. It's really worth playing with different bolsters and different sizes of supports for your body, because it really makes all the difference in the world. When they're not really lined up in the proper place, they can start to feel very tense, and your body will start to feel strained. And I've often felt like, even with bolsters, I've been in Niagara classes because they use a lot of that stuff. I remember feeling sometimes nauseous because the bolsters were just not in the right place. Like, not every body is the same body, so it really takes some sensitivity and some time to get to know your body, and where your body really loves the support and where it doesn't, because we're all different. Take a breath in and out. Go back to those 3 breaths, just following through, creating that unbroken stream of awareness. This is a mindfulness practice. Look right into that next to you. Follow right in deep to that exhale. Go long, go longer, go longest. Breathe out, breathe out. Compress your lungs. Let go, clean out. Inhale, fill yourself up with light. Fill up again. Deep inhaling, little sips, drinking in even more light gets so brighter. Lightness in the body, brightness in the mind. This is the gift of yoga. And exhale, open your mouth and let it all go. There's little rays of sunshine going here and there, everywhere. Send out to all those who need it. You can stay here or to come out and just turn to one side and just relax. Roll off to one side. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoy this practice as much as I've enjoyed doing it with you all. Palms together, the light inside of me bows and honors to the light that is in all of you, all of us together, shining out just like the sun. Namaste.